Hey, it's me, it's your girl Nurse T, coming to you with a video on the steps that I took to get into Chamberlain College of Nursing. If you're a soon-to-be high school graduate, or if you're just looking to have a career in nursing and you want to avoid the schools that have the long wait and that you have to have numerous prereqs, then Chamberlain might be the school for you. So if you're interested and want to know the steps to get into Chamberlain, just keep on watching. Thank you for stopping by. If you're still watching this video, that means you want to know what steps I took to getting into Chamberlain. Well, to begin with, I do want to introduce myself for those of you who are new to my channel. And if you are new, welcome. My name is T. I've been a nurse for 4 years. I currently work on a med-surg oncology hospice unit. I have had experience in home health as a nurse, as well as post-operative neurosurgery. Without further ado, let's get right into this topic. Okay, so I would say the first thing, number one, is Chamberlain offers information sessions. They offer the information sessions to give you an opportunity to come to the campus, to view the campus, to see the state-of-the-art simulation lab that they always advertising, and so you can get a chance to meet the instructors. Okay, so step number two, once you feel like the information session was for you, you gather your thoughts about whether you want to apply with the school, then the next thing you want to do is you want to set an appointment to go in and talk to an advisor. When you talk to the advisor will go a bit more in depth about the school. They will also tell you the process as far as in filling out the application, doing the HESI, so forth, so on. So once you talk with the advisor and you feel like, okay, I think I want to go ahead and go through with this, there is a $90 application fee. Yes, $90 application fee. Well, it was $90 4 years ago, but $90 application fee that consists of you taking the HESI twice. So if you have a HESI test already, they will accept the test that you already have, but whether you have the test or not, it's still $90 for the application. Okay, so applying for the application automatically comes with 2 HESI attempts. And what they do is they base your acceptance on a score. I believe you want to have at least 75% cumulative score. That 75% is based on your HESI average, and that's the average of all parts of your HESI. So when you take the HESI the first time and you have, I think it's 5 parts, and let's say on one of the parts, let's say the A and P, you make 75, and then when you take the test again, like a month later, 2 weeks later, a week later, however further later, when you retake the test and let's say you make an 80 on the anatomy, so they look at both tests that you have taken, and whichever score is the highest on either the first or the second test, and it doesn't matter which portion of the test, they're going to take the highest portion. They look at your transcript and they decide which classes with the school accept and which classes that you will be required to take with the school. So pretty much all your RN classes you would take with them, but for the majority of your prereqs, if you already had them because you once applied for any and every school out there, then they would take the majority of them. So there were probably like maybe 3 prereqs that in none of the other Texas schools were asking for that I had to take with them. And I think it was a critical thinking course, a logic course, and I think I had to take patho with them as well. So I have my little folder still from Chamberlain, and this is what they gave me when I first went to the admission advisor, and that basically was the breakdown of everything that I was going to be responsible for. So this is just kind of an example of the required classes that they want you to take with the program. And then after they have submitted my transcript with all the classes that I have already taken, and they look at the ones that they need, then they gave me a different list here, and on this list it shows the classes at the very top are the ones that they gave me credit for, and then the ones that's at the bottom in the squares is basically the breakdown of what I have to take throughout the program. And it shows you this first session, which is like 8 weeks, you would take this class in patho and introduction to nursing. The second session you would take Patho Part 2, and Health and Wellness. And that was my first semester. So that's how it went. Now, I would also say that, let's say that if you, whatever prerequisites you have, whichever prerequisites you have already when you apply to the program, they no longer accept any prerequisites after you have already submitted your transcript to be evaluated. And what I mean by that is, let's say that I turned in my transcript, took my HESI, did all that. I was waiting to see if I was going to get in. Let's say I turned in majority of my prereqs and I still had a couple of prereqs to go. Well, during the wait time while I'm waiting to get in the program, I might still need a few prereqs. If I take those prerequisites outside at another school while I'm waiting to get in, they won't accept them. They're only going to accept the prereqs that you take prior to submitting your transcript for evaluation. Any prerequisites you need after that point, after your transcript have already been evaluated, you will have to take it with the school. So I suggest taking whatever prerequisites that you want to get credit for. Take it before you apply. And if you don't know which ones that they will accept, just go to the school, talk to them first, find out which ones that they will accept prior to you even submitting that application. So that's for people who want to go there with the prerequisites. So like a breakdown of the tuition, and I don't work for Chamberlain nor is this sponsored, but from my experience, a breakdown with the tuition, when I went to the school at that time, it was around $75,000-$80,000. So I had at least 60 credit hours, 2 years worth of credit hours. I had my associates of science. So I had the 2 years worth of prereqs. So what they did is, if each class costs a X amount, and if I already brought the class to them, like I already had that class, then however much that class would have cost me, they deduct that amount from that class. So let's say it's $1,500 to take A&P 1 with the school. If I already bring them my A&P 1, then that's minus $1,500 off of that $80,000, so forth and so on. So now, during the process of me being in the school, the tuition was going up per credit hour. So the price might be different to start off now as it was when I started. But like I had a breakdown. They give you this itemized breakdown of your finances, and for like a year at the very bottom, I think you might see on there that it showed that my first year was going to be like $20,000, and which, yes, that's very high, but at the end of the day, it was a choice that I made. Okay, so $20,000, and then I'm there for 2 years. That's $40,000. Price compared to someone that's going there without prerequisites can be pretty expensive, but from my experience and what I went through financially was a little different. And then this is just not to mention the scholarships. And if you haven't seen my video on that scholarship that I used to get every semester, check out that video. But not including scholarships, if you work for any company, especially if you're working in healthcare, a lot of hospitals that you work for will probably offer tuition reimbursement. That money even counts towards it. If you get financial aid, for people who can't get any of that, they have the loans. Of course, we want to avoid it, but if you have to get it, then it's your education, and your education is an investment because it's going to make money for you. So that's where I stand as far as and last but not least, and I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon because I'm sitting outside and I'm already starting to bake. Your girl got the melon popping and all, but I'm getting toasted out here. But last but not least, before I went and I drove up to the school to take my HESI, I pulled up to the campus and I looked at that campus, parked my car, turned off the ignition, and I said a prayer. And I said, God, if this is for me, please let it be for me. I said this could possibly be the school that will allow me to walk across that stage and graduate with my bachelor's of science in nursing. And by God, it was. Okay, so without further ado, in case you also want to know, the time when I took my HESI, it was in June, and I believe I heard back from them that I was accepted in August, and I actually started at the very end of November. So sometimes it can be a wait period, but there. And if you're currently working at that moment, use that opportunity as the time to save, because not only do you have that tuition price, you do have your books. You do have to consider like your gas, your food, your lodging, whatever. If you have kids, that's an arrangement on its own. So use that time as a time to get yourself together. And like I said, if you have that opportunity to work some overtime and do all that before you get in a program, then during that wait period is the perfect time for it. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I don't want to exhaust you. But again, if you rocking with your girl Nurse T, keep on rocking. Until further ado, I'm out, and